Hey. Welcome back to Mirror Expressions, a channel where I take the time to share a little bit of myself with you all. And I invite y'all to come on in the house and do the same with me. Go ahead, hit thumbs up on this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know how you are doing by dropping a mirror emoji in the chat. Like if you have looked in a mirror today, baby, yes, and you are feeling fantabulous with what you see looking back at you, go ahead and drop me a mirror emoji. And if you are not, you know what? We all have our days, but do what you must to get back to the healthier version of yourself. All right, y'all. Married at first sight. It's just not giving what's supposed to be given. I'm telling you, y'all, I'm on the struggle bus with this show. Like even the title isn't even interesting. Gatlinburg Getaway. That's where we are. Season 16, episode 17. We have 7 days until decision day. So Aries is back in Nashville, but because you know, he had to go to this mandatory work meeting or something. So now he's saying that the house is feeling different with, now that he's waking up without Jasmine by his side or Duchess being in the house. Duchess is the dog, right? And I'm like, but that's what you want, right? Because it's definitely how you been acting, right? So we see everybody waking up over back in Gatlinburg, right? Jasmine is kind of saying she misses Aries. We see Nicole going to get some fresh air while Chris is still sleeping. Clint, he in there nursing a doggone hangover, or Gina is nursing his hangover rather. And yeah, nothing interesting. So anyway, they get their day started, and so Nicole and Chris and Shaquille and Kirsten, they go to like one of those old-timey photo shoot thingies. Y'all know where they dress up like, I don't know, just the old time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And they get like the black and white Western pictures and all of that, right? So, yeah. So they're one of those places. And the guys are over talking by themselves while they're picking out what to wear, and the ladies are doing the same on the other side, right? And so Shaquille is telling Chris that he and Nicole are all the other couples' hope, right? And I'm just like, don't be resting it on them, y'all. Because they like they perfect. But anyway, and so he was just like, you know, y'all are doing well, but who knows what's going on behind closed doors. And I'm just like, exactly. So don't be resting your hope on them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Nicole is telling Kirsten that they're struggling to find a new home that will take the two of them with their 3 dogs. And so while Chris, on the other hand, is telling Shaquille that Nicole just doesn't want to go back to living separately, but is acting rash about it. I'm just like, I mean, who wants to live without their spouse when there is no real rhyme or reason to it? You know what I'm saying? It's not like one is off away for a job. Like, you know, different reasons that may legitimize them living separately for a time. Like, who wants to just live without their spouse for the sake of living without their spouse because they don't want to just get a home together? So, anyway, Kirsten said that she and Shaquille, they are not talking about their living situation post-decision day or their future period. So she said that they're still trying to focus on just communicating better. And so I was just like, the way that Kirsten is talking, her mind is already made up. Like, but we knew that, right? We already do that. Honey, her mind has been made up since day one. She just isn't in it. So Shaquille's pointing out like how she likes to stay up and talk till like 3 in the morning. And he has to be like, at some point, hey, I got to go to sleep because I have to get up and go to work in the morning. Which I can understand it. Like, why y'all staying up all times of the night just talking? But anyway, So they end up taking their pics or whatever. And they really look good. Like, I have never felt inclined to partake in that type of activity. Like, when I see them, like, and I've been to Gatlinburg hundreds of times. But, you know, just seeing how cute their pictures are made me want to do it the next time I see one. Like, I'm going to have to just check it out and do it for myself, because it did. It looked like they had a fun time doing it. And the pictures, again, like I said, looked great. So, anyway, Chris just kind of said that he hopes that Shaquille and Kirsten can figure things out, because they are just so close to making things work. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay. That's how you see things, Chris, because that ain't what we seeing. But anyway, so the couples are headed to like this lumberjack feud show is what it's called. Eris has made it back to Gatlinburg, but he's tired, so because he had to work, drive back, and so he just, you know, he didn't come. He's tired. He's resting. So there's this place. So they do like axe throwing. They did cross cut saw. And for all the people who did not know what that was, like me, because I had no idea until I actually saw what they were doing. It's like the long saw where it takes two people, one on other end, to saw through like wood or whatever. So they did that. They also tried to walk across some logs on the water. They were harnessed, just in case you're wondering, because that was a mess. I don't think I could have done it. I don't think I could participate in just about anything that they were doing. Like, in some form, shape, or fashion, I would have been like, my knees, my shoulders, my back ain't set up for all of that. So they do some pole climbing next. And I was just wondering, like, those poles look really tall. Like, I just wonder how tall they were. I'm sure they told them, but I was just curious. But anyway, so the poles have markers on them to, you know, as far as to height. So like maybe there's a blue line, and then maybe like a few more feet above that there's a white line, and then a few more feet above that, you know, just to kind of mark off how high you are really climbing, right? And so, Nicole and Chris, like, it's just two posts. So Nicole and Chris went together. Nicole ended up going farther than Chris did. Like, he kind of gave up. I don't think he even made it to the blue line. I think the blue line was the lowest goal, and I think that was pretty much what everybody was aspiring to get to. So Chris didn't make it. Nicole did. Kirsten and Shaquille goes next. Kirsten gave up, but Shaquille went, even though he was just like, I need to know how I'm gonna get down from here. Y'all know he is not that adventurous. So I was surprised that he was even willing to give it a try. Clint opted to sit this one out because he said he was still spinning, baby. Clint is still nursing a hangover, right? And so Gina and Jasmine go. And little Jasmine, baby, she hit that blue mark and she just kept going, baby. She was here for the show out. I said, okay, girl. So I think she was trying to make it to the next one, the next marker. And I don't know how much further above the first mark it is. But anyways, but she was going, she was climbing that thing. I said, okay. But she ended up slipping. And she said that once she slipped, she was just too tired to keep trying to go. But yeah, I said, you go, girl. But anyway, she does wish that Eris would have been there to see her do her thing. Plus, she said her booty was looking good in that harness. So maybe it would have turned him on. And I'm thinking like, you look good, girl. You look good, period. Harness or no harness. But I doubt that would have turned him on. But anyway, They look very tired. That's all I can say. They had like hooks on their shoes, it looked like. And so they had to hook their shoes into the pole. And they had like a rope tied around the pole, which they were using to climb up. So they would do the rope up, and then they would have to hook their feet in and pull themselves up with the rope, and then throw it up to another space. Do their feet, pull themselves up. Yeah, it just looked very tiring. I would have been a Clint at that. Sat on the sidelines. So anyway, the couples ended up splitting up into groups and going to talk. So we got Clint, Jasmine, Nicole, and Shaquille in one group, and then Kirsten, Gina, and Chris in another. And so both sides are just kind of talking about, they start off talking about the kind words that Aries said about Jasmine the evening before at dinner. And I said they had to have been prompted by producers or whatever, because it just trips me out how when they split up in groups, because we've seen this happen, they always end up talking about the exact same things. And so, yeah, so they're talking about that. And again, y'all, I don't get it. I was not blown away by anything he said. Like, thanking somebody for putting up with him and his shenanigans. I don't get it. But anyway, Jasmine was saying how it turned over a new leaf for them. And she was like, you know, you can always, you can say all those things about me, and it doesn't turn you on. Like, I don't get it. And so she said those were just words, but action does need to come into play. And I said, Jasmine, I hope you're not just saying words, because you're right. Action does need to come into play. So you don't need to be melting and crying your eyes out and smiling me every time he says something nice and, you know, kind towards you. Like, those should be things given on a daily anyways. Like, so don't just fall for the okie doke and think that he's turned over a new leaf, as you're saying. Hold him to that. So anyway, Shaquille brings up Kirsten not coming to Memphis with him again. And I was just like, are we still talking about this Shaquille? You know what I'm saying? So he says that after he told her how he felt, she brought out her calendar, trying to mark dates and all this. And we're like, you know, well, what time do I need to be there? And so his thing is he wants her to want to be there. And not just doing it because he thinks, she thinks everybody is going to get on her ass afterwards. So Chris is kind of relaying the same thing to Kirsten in their group, you know, that Shaquille just wants her to want to be there with him. And so she said, well, when she feels secure and they have that energy, then she will want to be there. Like, their support would just come naturally. I'm thinking like, I don't know what to say about them two. I just don't. I don't see it working out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Gina ends up bringing up how Clint was so drunk. Like, they're still in their group, right? So she brings up how he was so drunk the night before and how she had to do this for him, do that for him. Like, he couldn't find the bed. He couldn't even find his pajamas. And so she was just like, that's not what she wants in a marriage. Like, she doesn't find that attractive. And now, Gina, I agree with you. It's not attractive. Not my cup of tea. But, I mean, it's not like this is an all-the-time thing. Like, he was literally celebrating his birthday. And, like, again, I agree. It's not the most attractive thing. But if my significant other wanted to get messed up once a year, and we're in a safe environment, and, like, they're celebrating themselves, like, live and let live, baby. Honey, I'm a nurse, and I nurse you back to health the next day. Do what we got to do, and we going to keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm not seeing that behavior all the time, I would not be tripping off that one time. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that's my thing. Anyway, she does say that that attraction just has never been built. So she feel like Clint doesn't do the things to try to impress her or try to catch her attention, that type of thing. And for Clint, he said that there's still a possibility for them that they can still continue, but he just doesn't know, and he's not going to pretend like he knows. Like, the possibility is there, but He just doesn't know where they are and where things will go. So Shaquille and Kirsten, they're back at the cabin, right? And so we see them go out on their balcony and they're talking about what each of them talked in their groups. Like Kirsten really wants to know what Shaquille said about her, basically, is what it is. So he told her that he just said that they're working to get on the same page. And so she said the hardest part of their marriage is trying to get on the same page. She feels that they still need to have deeper conversations about where they see their marriage going and what they want out of it, right? And Skill's just like, that's been something that's been consistent for us. Like, he's like hearing from her, like, he said that he always hears this from her. But for him, they do those things. They talk about those things. But yeah, he's always constantly hearing from her that they need to be talking about these things. And I'm just like, yeah, those two definitely are not on the same page, baby. Whew. So she pauses when he's like, but we talk about these things. We've been talking about them. She pauses for a while. And then she said, well, we do have our conversations sometimes. He said, sometime or all the time. Baby, they a whole fool. She said, sometimes. And so then he goes on to tell her that, well, these conversations are not a need for me. They're a want. She said, well, they're a need for me. But he tells her, though, when he did say that, he tells her that he also finds other ways to learn things about her. Like, he observes her, he watches the things she does, and that's also a way about how he learns her. But, yeah, these two... Anyway, and she gets her confessional, and she's just like... She's concerned that Shaquille doesn't know how to give her the attention that she needs. And if she says no, it would be because Shaquille did not live up to her expectation. Like, he just couldn't meet them. And so Kirsten said, well, where do we go from here, you know? And so he said, well, we're going to work to get on the same page. And she said, do you think that's possible? And he's like, I know it's possible. And so, when he said that, she didn't respond. She was just left standing there pouting, you know. And I was just like, oh, Kirsten is really looking for a way out. Like, she is just, yeah, she just, I feel like she just working on a way out. Like, she just not wanting to be there. She looking for the excuse to end things. And I feel like she's been doing it for a while. But anywho, we see Gina and Clint talking, right? She brings up that one of her techs quit. And so they kind of have a discussion about that. And she just talks about how frustrating it could be pouring into somebody and then they quit. And that she's trying to find the balance in being an owner and being a friend. And so she gets emotional and she cries. Well, it wasn't a boo crying because I ain't gonna even lie, like, I ain't know the girl was crying. I did until she said, you know, this is your first time seeing me cry, right? And I'm thinking, like, is she joking? Because I ain't seen Nan tear. That's just me. But then Claire was just like, yeah, it is. I said, oh, she must be crying. Maybe it's just blending into her skin because I couldn't see it. Clear tears. That's all that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, he was just like, yeah, it's my first time seeing you cry. She was just like, well, you know, I am human too. And I'm like, yes, you are, honey. Yes, you are. But yeah, y'all, nothing much about that. she does get into her confession talking about, you know, after they're talking, she loves how he listens to her and that there's probably some hope for them. And I'm just like, no, ma'am, it's not. Like, quit lying to us, and more importantly, quit lying to yourself. Anyway, so we see Nicole and Chris go play miniature golf, right? I love miniature golf. Like, that's just one of my favorite pastimes to do, like, when I'm in places like that or whatever. So, yeah, they're playing golf. She's competitive. And so she says she normally avoids things that she's not good at, i.e. miniature golf, because, baby, little mama is out there struggling. Do you hear me? And so she's struggling and she's getting frustrated versus just not taking it so seriously and just having fun with it or whatever. And so Chris said that he wishes she would just let those inhibitions down and just have fun. But he feels like, you know, this will probably be the last time they play miniature golf together. So we end up catching Aries coming back complete with his bags and so, like, I'm like, how sway? Literally, we see him walking into the room with his bags, and he and Jasmine hug like they just now seeing each other since he been back. But mind you, if you heard me at the beginning of this recap, Jasmine had already said that Aries was back. She told that to the group when they were on their way to the lumberjack place. The Aries was back, but that he was tired, and that's why he was not joining them. So why they acting like this the first time they seeing each other, or like he's just now coming in, got his bag thrown over? I said, oh, they need to get their timeline together, because baby. But anyway, I digress. So she and Aries go out and they are playing like the Jumbo Connect 4. I love that guy, y'all. I even have it at my home. Like, it's a fun addition to just when you're out hanging outside, or I ended up bought it one year for my son's birthday during COVID. We just had a small get together out back, and I bought it then. And so it's just a good addition to bring out and just have fun and play, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so they're doing that. They're talking, of course, and so she tells him about how at the lumberjack place, she climbed the pole and she went the furthest than anybody. And she really wanted him to acknowledge that. And just, you know, maybe be like, this good, or good job or something. And he did not. He was, you know, he made like he tried to make a little funny remark, something along the lines of, yeah, but you suck at Connect 4 or something because I just beat you. Something along those lines. And I'm thinking, like, why not just acknowledge? Because, you know, she was so happy to tell him, you know. And so, but anyway, so she also just talks about how everybody brought up what he said to her at dinner the other night and how she really appreciated it. And so he said, you know, well, the goal was to make you cry. Like, boy, stop. Boy, stop. Like, he was trying to be funny when he said it, but it's just like, I think Aries just has gotten on my nerves to the point is, like, his so-called funny moments, I'm just over it already, just over it. But anyway, he does tell her that he missed Duchess. Like, when he went home, he was like, he missed Duchess. Now, get this, y'all. Now, he's talking about the dog. And then, in a roundabout way, he also said that he missed her as well. And, you know, I'm saying that, but, well, he really could have been talking about the dog, because this is how it went down. So he was talking about the dog, how he missed the dog. And then he started naming specific things that he missed about the dog, like her whining, right? Then he was just like, and I missed the hair on the floor. Now, all of this is running together here, right? As he's talking about missing the dog. I missed this. I missed that. I missed the whining. I missed the hair on the floor. And so Jasmine was like, skirt, you missed the hair on the floor. What hair on the floor? So I'm taking it Duchess is probably one of them breeds that doesn't shed right. So yeah, she was like, the hair on the floor? What hair on the floor? You talking about my hair? You miss me? So of course, he had to say yeah, you know. But he didn't even say yes specifically to her. He was like, yeah, I miss everything. Jasmine got in her confession, baby. She was so happy. She said that she had missed him, but he, you know, he could be so hard to read at times. So it just feels so good to hear him say he missed her. But did he though, sis? Is that what he said? Because that is not what my ears heard, baby. Because what I heard was he missed that dog. He missed routine. But not once did he specifically say you. You tripped him up when you said hair, my hair. Because he was naming all the things about the dog, Jasmine, when he said that. And so you done went from the hair, my hair. So you miss me? Girl. Anyway. Ooh, child. So Shakira and Kirsten, they're leaving early from the group, right, to head back to Nashville because he has to go to work the next morning. So he said that Kirsten coming back early with him made him feel great because he felt like it was something that she wanted to do and not something that he was prompting her to do, right? And so Clint ended up cooking dinner for the couples again. And baby, Clint, can you come be my cook? You still looking for a husband? You can come over here. I will let you cook every day if you want to. Because it was looking good. They had like salmon, them green, oh baby, that salad. That green was greening on that plate, was it not? Oh, it looks so good. But anyway, Shaquille asked the group, like, what have they taken away from the weekend? So Eric said to win each day. Don't think ahead, just take it one day at a time. Gina said to extend grace and have gratitude. And she brings up McKinley and Dawn. Baby, I said, who? Who are those people? Yeah, I had forget about them. But she brings them up and she was just like, when they broke up, they saw how easy it was to just go their separate ways versus actually sticking around and sticking together was harder, you know, than just letting go. And so Nicole said that she has been able to have little takeaways from everyone, and so she thanks them for that. Jasmine said to be open and optimistic. And Kirsten said that somebody told her to be where your feet are. So basically just being present. I like that. I need to write that down. Write that down, my affirmations. So I really like that. Being where your feet are. Yup. Got it. Bingo. Put that in my affirmations jar. Anyways, Shaquille said, in every lesson, there is a blessing, right? So when he said that, y'all, they started teasing him about he preaching on them. So, you know, they actually end up turning it into like a cute little funny moment with the hallelujahs and the praise their hands. And y'all know Clint Crazy Bub was going to do that. He was like, hallelujah. I was waiting on him to do something funny. Y'all know Clint. But anyway, Jasmine brings up the card game that she and Eris played on their way to Gatlinburg, and she wants to play with the group. So they decide to do that. Nicole pulls a card and asks, what do you like most about me? And what do you like the least? Chris answered that what he likes the least about her is that she's so hard on herself and it makes you question things that don't need to be questioned. He said what he likes the most about her is how caring and compassionate she is. Nicole said the thing that she likes the least about Chris is how he's always putting everyone before himself. And that the thing she likes the most about him is that he makes everybody feel comfortable. So Shaquille got the question, what's your favorite imperfection about me? They answered this completely not how I felt the question was being answered. When I think about what's your favorite imperfection about me, that means something I enjoy that just does not seem perfect. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she stops, she pauses, and she was just like, oh, but you're perfect. Ha, ha, ha. Like, anyway, girl, come on, answer the question, right? So then she said, well, his listening. Although he's improving, he needs to learn how to be a better listening. And I'm thinking, it said favorite imperfection, not what he needs to work on. But whatever. So he answers it the same way. I wonder if he would have answered it differently had he gone first. So he answers it the same way that she kind of did. So he said that how when they first got together, he was so much pressure, she couldn't think about stuff. But now she takes the time to process things and go from there. I just said, all right, y'all. Then neither one of y'all answer the question, but go and sit yourself out. So Eric's got, what do you think is the hardest thing for me right now? Jasmine said that you overthink and you get in your own way. He said for her, it is her speaking up. Clint pulls, when do I hurt you? So Gina answers and she says, well, I don't think I've ever felt hurt by you. Gina, that's a bold-faced lie. That's a bold-faced lie, girl. We all know you have been hurt by this man. Here's why y'all just stuck in this friend zone today. Like, who are you kidding? She did go on to say, but, you know, you are a man of many words. And she doing like this, many words. And so she says that, he wants someone to be on his level. But she wants him to speak with the goal of her understanding. In other words, she doesn't know half the words that come out of your mouth clear. He is a man of many words, and I like that. To me, that's an attractive feature. Like, because I've always been into words. Like, even as a young kid, I used to read the dictionary, and I can remember and I love word games, the word puzzles. I love all those kind of things. Even when I had the Nintendo Wii, I would get games that were either dancing games, because dance is my passion, or they had to do with words, like word puzzle, crossword puzzles, yeah. So I'm with you on that, Clint. I like that you are a man of many words, and she says many words. But yeah, she wants you to speak on a level where she is what she's saying. So anyway, Clint says that he wants her to not be on her phone so often. So she was just like, she could work on it. And he was like, yeah, just put it down sometimes. So that was pretty much the end of the night. Shaquille and Kirsten leave. And so the others, they end with just getting in the hot tub. They have a good time. Clint pops a bottle, and baby, he is spraying that champagne, baby. But Jackson was having no part. She was sitting on the side of Then her too with a towel over her hair, like, baby, you shall not mess up my hair. But they do that. They have fun. Clint ends up asking, like, what's the craziest place you all have had sex? Jasmine was just like, you know, I'm not vanilla, but all that don't need to be said right here and now. You know what I'm saying? And so we didn't really see anybody answer it except for Clint. And he was just like, he had sex on the beach by the lifeguard stand. And so Nicole tried to be funny. It was just like, was it with a, did she say a whale or, no, she said, was it with a dolphin or a human? And he was just like, I think it was a human. You know, it was all wet, so it was hard to tell. And so, you know, they have a good kiki about that or whatever. So, good time, you know. But Clint is always funny to me. Like, it's boring. And I'm saying boring with a capital B. As boring as this season has been, I love that at least Clint comes with a little comedic relief every Wednesday. So that's about the only thing I look forward to, y'all. So anyways, Nicole and Chris, they're in their room in the bed. And so they bring up how she said, you know, he always takes care of everybody else. Puts them before himself. And so she kind of just suggests that he maybe take a guy's day and have some time without her. Like, she was just saying that it's important that they have their time together, but it's also important that they have their time apart. Like, they need their own outlets. And I totally agree with her on that. So it's the next day, 6 days until decision day. Gina and Clint, they get up. They're sitting out on their balcony, drinking their coffee and talking. Now, that is my way of waking up. Like, just going straight outside to a beautiful, beautiful scenery. The mountains, you know, is what they're seeing. For me, it would be the ocean if I had my preference. Just the fresh air, the sounds of nature. Like, just relaxing before you get your day started. I love it. I wish I could just do that every morning. But anyway, they talk about how they are all like family, like the whole group, because they've gone through this experience together. And so Clint said that he's into, that he wants to keep trying to make things work. Although they only have a few days left to make that connection, he's really wanting to, is what he's saying. Clint, he get up, he make breakfast. Baby, Clint loves to cook. He know he be cooking. Anyway, Nicole, we see Nicole and Chris packing rice. So she brings up the whole movie situation again, trying to find somewhere to stay after decision day. And, you know, she just tells him, it's making me anxious not to have a plan in place. And decision day is pretty much right around the corner, right? And so Chris is just like, but I thought we had a plan. I said, Nicole, yeah, y'all did. When he came to you and he said he wants y'all to live 9 months separately before trying to get a place, and you agreed, that was y'all plan right there, Nicole. That was y'all plan. I said, but Nicole, she just needs to be honest like that. That's not what she really wanted. Even though she had said it, she needs to just say, I wasn't honest when I said it. You know, I was just speaking that in the moment because I was afraid to disagree with you. But I really do not want us to live separately. So can we start making plans? Where are you with that? You know, but he ended up agreeing that they will do that before the decision day. But there was some tension there, y'all. Like, did y'all catch that? Or was it just me? Because I was just like, oh, I'm not feeling like Chris really wants to get a place together right behind decision day. I'm not feeling like he does. Anyway, Nicole done came up with this bright idea that they should dress like some dinosaurs going into breakfast. Chris didn't want to. He was like, what's the point? And she said, just to be silly and have fun. And he was just like, but why? She said, well, I'm going to do it. If you want to, you can. If not, you know. And so, of course, he was going to agree. So, in his confessional, his producer asked him, was this appeasement? He said it was 100% appeasement. I bet it was. Because that was just silly. You couldn't even sit down and eat like that. But anyway, but you want to get mad and frustrated and minister God, but you want to walk around some darn dinosaur suits. But anyway, they come upstairs in them costumes, y'all. And everybody's looking like, what the hell? Like, nobody even really laughed. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, Chris was like, this is all her idea. I'm just going along with it. I said, Chris, you better absolve yourself of having anything to do with this mess. So, you know, we see them have breakfast. They end up praying together. I thought that was a beautiful thing. I think Gina was the one that brought it up. She was like, it reminded her of having meals with her family. And I think she said her niece. So I always be like, can we say grace? And so the niece would be like, grace, you know. So they decide to say grace. Jasmine prayed that thing on end. Beautiful prayer. And Clint asked the group, what do they need from their significant others with decision day coming up? And so Eric said he needs Jasmine to speak up and be the best version of herself. She said she needs Eris to continue creating a safe place for her to speak up and for them to continue to grow their connection and intimacy. Chris said he needs to not question things anymore, and he told her no more dinosaur no more dinosaur outfits, like no more costumes. So she said for her for Chris, what she needs for Chris is for him to keep being himself and allowing her to be herself and to work together to figure out post-decision day. Something told me she was going to mention it. Like, she is really harping on what's going to happen on decision day. Like, I can see her anxiety is raising through the roof. I see that. Anyway, Gina said she just needs there to be a step up in communication. And I said, Gina, you're just talking because we all know you're going to say no. Clint said he needs for her to just be open-minded and that any issues they have, they just need to solve them as a couple. And I said, look at Clint sitting up there looking like the papa of the group as he imparted his last few words. But anyway, y'all, that was pretty much it for the episode. We see them leaving out, and I think we have 2 more episodes until we get to decision day. Like, next week will be the episode we see them with their friends and families for any last minute advice, and then the next episode should be decision day. So yeah, we almost there, baby, this season. Oh, child. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And until next time, I'll pray for y'all. Y'all pray for me. And what? Bye, y'all.